Welcome to today's Explainer. I am absolutely thrilled you're here because we are tackling a truly high-stakes battle taking place all around us, every single day. I'm talking about the fight against structural concrete decay. Whether you're managing a massive industrial site, critical bridge infrastructure, or a marine facility, failing concrete is a relentless enemy. But today, we're looking at a fascinating solution. We're going to break down the science and application of a real game-changer in the industry, a product called Drizoro Maxrite 700. Picture your typical structural concrete repair job for a second. You've got failing, spalling, or corroding concrete, right? And normally, you have to spend hours building complex, messy formwork just to hold the repair mortar in place while it sets. It's a huge pain. But what if I told you there's a highly engineered way to skip that entire step? A way to save an incredible amount of time and hassle, all while actively fighting the internal rust that caused the problem in the first place? Well, that is exactly the question we're answering today.
Okay, let's dive right into our roadmap for today. First, we'll look at the Concrete Repair Challenge. Second, we'll meet Maxrite 700. Third, we've got a showdown between Maxrite and Maxrest. Fourth, we'll cover perfect prep and mixing. And finally, we'll wrap up with the application and curing steps.
Section 1. The Concrete Repair Challenge and how to protect your structures.
You know, concrete doesn't just fail on its own. It is literally under constant attack. You have acid rain and atmospheric pollution eating away at industrial areas. Down by the coast and marine environments, chlorides are actively penetrating the porous concrete to attack the steel inside. Then you've got carbonation processes, harsh de-icing salts in the winter, and honestly, just the simple, brutal reality of repeated mechanical impacts and heavy loads. All of these elements conspire to penetrate the concrete and corrode those internal steel reinforcements. And when that steel rusts, it expands. It physically blows the concrete right off the wall. It's a messy, dangerous process called spalling, and it threatens the very structural integrity of our buildings and bridges.
Moving right along to Section 2, meet Drizoro Maxrite 700, our structural hero.
This brings us to the solution. And I want to be clear, this isn't just some basic patching compound. It's a non-shrink, high early strength structural repair mortar. Now look at this number, 17. Get this, the manufacturer actually lists exactly 17 distinct, highly engineered reasons why this specific product is right for serious concrete repair jobs. That is an absolute ton of capability packed into a single bag of mortar.
I've synthesized those 17 points down to the absolute most critical benefits for us. The biggest one? Maxrite 700 has built-in corrosion inhibitors, meaning it doesn't just patch the hole, it actively prevents future corrosion from chlorides. Next up, it boasts a generous 60-minute pot life. That is a full hour of open setting time, which is huge for letting your team quickly tackle large surface areas without the mortar hardening in the bucket. On top of that, it's 100% waterproof. It uses microsilica for extreme chemical resistance, and maybe the coolest part, it is highly thixotropic. That's a fancy way of saying it requires absolutely zero formwork. It just hangs right there on the wall. Plus, it's a single component system, so you literally just add water.
Section 3. Maxrite versus Maxrest, the showdown. Now what's really interesting here is seeing how this compares to its highly capable sibling, Maxrest. It really shows you why picking the right tool for the job matters. Maxrest is a fantastic quick-setting mortar with a 15-minute pot life, perfect for rapid fixes. But Maxrite 700, that 60-minute pot life makes it the absolute ultimate choice for those massive, structural, time-consuming jobs. When it comes to protection, Maxrest relies on high alkalinity to stop rust, but Maxrite 700 goes a step further, doubling down with high alkalinity plus those built-in active corrosion inhibitors we talked about. And while Maxrest usually needs an additional MaxSeal membrane to be fully waterproof, Maxrite 700 is totally waterproof right out of the bag. It is a complete all-in-one structural shield. Let's get into Section 4, perfect prep and mixing.
Okay, so even the most advanced materials in the world will fail if you don't apply them correctly. The absolute secret to a foolproof, long-lasting repair is all in the prep work. Let's walk through these steps. First, you have to aggressively remove all the damaged, loose concrete. And this is crucial. Cut the edges perpendicularly to a minimum depth of 5 millimeters, absolutely no feather edging here. Next, fully expose that corroded rebar. Clear away the concrete until you hit clean steel, making sure you leave at least 1 centimeter of clearance entirely around the rebar. Then, clean that rust completely off using a wire brush, a needle gun, or sandblasting.
Finally, before you apply a single drop of product, you must dampen the concrete surface until it's fully saturated. But be careful, make sure there is absolutely no freestanding pooling water. Once you're prepped, it's time to mix. And precision definitely matters here. Take your 25-kilogram bag of odorless powder and add exactly 3.75 to 4.25 liters of clean water. That specific ratio is going to give you roughly 13.75 liters of usable mortar. You'll want to mix this mechanically with a low-speed drill. Keep it right around 400 to 600 RPM. Whatever you do, do not use violent mixing methods or overmix it, because that can actually compromise the structural integrity. Now, if you happen to be using a spray machine, you can bump that water up to exactly 4.5 liters. But honestly, on-site testing is always recommended to nail that perfect consistency.
Real quick, an essential safety reminder straight from the manufacturer. While Maxrite 700 is non-toxic, it is still a highly abrasive cementitious compound, so you absolutely must wear rubber gloves and safety goggles during application. Gotta protect your skin and eyes, folks. Safety first, for sure.
Which brings us to our final part, Section 5, Application and Curing Steps.
All right, we have a perfectly prepped wall and perfectly mixed mortar. Now, how do we get it on the wall securely? Before the main mortar goes on, you're going to mix a quick slurry. That's 5 parts Maxrite to 1 part water, and brush it right onto the porous concrete and the steel rebar to act as a bonding primer. While that slurry is still wet, just trowel on the fresh mortar. Because of this stuff's incredible formula, you can apply layers anywhere from 5 to a massive 50 millimeters thick, with zero formwork required. You just press firmly with the trowel to push out any trapped air. And hey, if you need it thicker than 50 millimeters, no problem. Simply scratch the surface of that first layer, wait about 30 minutes, and trowel the next coat right on top.
To wrap up the physical work, we really have to respect the curing environment if we want maximum mechanical strength. The rules here are strict. Do not apply the mortar if temperatures are expected to drop below 5 degrees Celsius in the next 24 hours. On the flip side, if you're dealing with extreme heat or high wind, you need to lightly spray the repaired area with water for at least an hour. And if it's over 30 degrees Celsius out there with less than 50% humidity, you've got to cover the repairs entirely for the first 24 hours. Oh, and one last thing, never, ever use artificial curing compounds. Let it do its thing naturally.
So let me leave you with this final thought. Take a hard look at your current maintenance protocols. Are you basically just slapping temporary band-aids over failing concrete? Or is your strategy actively fighting internal corrosion, creating a waterproof barrier, and genuinely extending the lifespan of your critical structures? Once we understand the science behind advanced materials like this, we can, and we should, demand a whole lot more from our repair strategies. Thank you so much for joining me for this explainer. Keep learning, keep building smart, and I'll catch you next time.